there, thanks for stopping by. On the channel, I like to make special things for special people. And at the top of my special list is my husband. And this week we are actually celebrating another year of his life. We were on vacation in northern Canada last year and he nearly died. He had septic shock and respiratory failure. I'll tell you a little bit more about that at the end of the video. But his very special treat is candied jalapenos, or also known as cowboy candy. So I'm going to surprise him today and make these, and I hope that you'll follow along. Okay, these are the ingredients that we'll need. I will give you the measurements for one batch, but I'm actually quadrupling this recipe. So you'll need 1.5 pounds of jalapenos, and you will slice them about 1/4 inch thick, and you can do that with a knife. I'm actually going to use a food processor because I have arthritis, and so gadgets like that make my life a little easier. Now, one recipe I had looked at before said to use so many jalapenos, but as you can see, there's such a great difference in size, it's better to go by the poundage. So 1.5 pounds of jalapenos sliced, 3 cups of sugar, and it is a sweet treat, and we'll need 1/4 teaspoon of ground turmeric, 1/4 teaspoon of celery seed, and 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 cup of apple cider vinegar. And then because I'm canning these, I'm going to use 1/8 teaspoon per jar of the jalapenos. I lost my train of thought. So I'm going to go ahead and process these, get them all sliced up. I'll come back when I get that done. Okay, I have added all the sugar, and remember I'm quadrupling the recipe, so I have the normal amounts and instructions down in the directions. So I need to add the rest of my vinegar. And normally you wouldn't need this large of a pot, but because I'm doing so many, I needed this big one. And then I'm going to add all my spices, and then I'll mix that up. Once it boils, then I'll simmer for about 5 minutes. We just want to melt all the sugar. In the meantime, I have my canner heating up. You don't have to can this. You can actually just put the jars in the refrigerator, and they're good for a few weeks. Actually, probably longer than that because of the vinegar. It's now boiling. So I'll turn it down to a simmer for about 5 minutes. Okay, it has simmered for 5 minutes. Now we're going to add our jalapenos. Look at all those. This is why I needed the big stock pot. We actually made a syrup with the sugar and the spices and vinegar. Now that I've stirred the jalapenos in really well, I crank the temperature back up, the heat back up to medium high, and we'll let that come to a full boil. Then we'll turn it back down to simmer for about 4 minutes. Okay, the jalapenos have simmered for the 4 minutes, and now I'm going to strain out all of the jalapenos and then return the syrup to a boil, and then they're ready to can. Okay, then you'll see there's only liquid and some seeds left in there. A couple little pieces of jalapeno, but I'll turn that back on the stove and on high and get that heated back up, and then we're ready to ladle them into the jars. While I was waiting for all of this to be done, I heated my jars, cleaned them really good, and got them nice and warm. And you never want to put something hot in a cold jar. You're asking for a disaster. So I will go ahead and start filling these with the jalapenos. and then we'll top them off with the syrup. You want to leave about a 1/2 inch head space. Now I will ladle the syrup in. If you're not going to can these, you can go ahead and just put them in the refrigerator, but I would wait about 2 weeks, maybe even 3 or 4 weeks before you try them. That way they're at their most potent. Clean off the jar before I put my lid on. And then you're just doing it finger tight. So, all right, I'll set that aside. What I forgot to do in that first one is to put the pickling crisp in, and I don't have an 1/8 teaspoon, so I'm going to do 1/2 of a 1/4 teaspoon. Tiny little spot there. Okay, our canner is very hot and boiling and ready to put these jars in. After I get the jars in, I will let it come back up to a boil, and then once it comes back up to a boil, then I will process for 10 minutes, and then they'll be all done. I'm going to have to add a little more boiling water because it should be at least 1 inch or 2 over the top of the jars. So as promised at the beginning of the video, I would share with you about the illness that my husband had. We went to visit our kids who were missionaries in Northern Ontario, and while we were there, we were just there a couple days, and he got very sick and spent about a week and a half in ICU, and they actually had to fly him by helicopter from one small hospital to a bigger hospital. And while there, we just knew that he was just not improving how we think he should, and so we had to have him flown home to Indiana. But he actually had septic shock and also respiratory failure. We really were not sure that he was going to survive, and we're just so thankful that God heard our cries and that he did touch his body. And the only lasting thing that he has is still some weakness. He's not able to do a lot of the things that he was doing before, and he also has oxygen support that he has to carry with him, portable, or here at home he has a concentrator that he uses. But we are so thankful that he is alive and that he's doing well. He was in the hospital for about 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks, something like that, and then off work for about 3 months. And during that time, God just showed so much kindness to us through other people, through our church family, through our neighbors. We were just so blessed by the outpouring of love and care during that time. And though it was such a hard time, we actually rejoiced that he did survive, and all the many blessings that we encountered along the way. So he's still, like I said, still pretty weak and frustrated at times that he's not able to do some of the things that he used to do. But, sorry. But we are so grateful for what God has done in his life and in our lives, for the kindness that he showed to us during that time and continues to show to us. So, sorry about that. It's hard to tell the story without getting weepy. He is my sweetheart, and he is my favorite special person. So today we made those candied jalapenos especially for him. He deserves it. So thanks for stopping by, and I hope that you'll like and subscribe to the channel and watch for more videos. Come back again. See you soon. Hello.
Well, hello. How are you?
Good.
Mwah.
How are you?
Oh, good. Oh, air.
Surprise
Oh, the
for
kiss
you.
first, then the air. I do need air.
Have another surprise
Oh, you do love
for
me.
you. I do.
I'm your cowboy. It's cowboy candy.
as you can see, there's such a great difference in size. So you want to use a slotted spoon for this. Oh, that's taking my breath away. That's very strong. Tiny little spot there. I can see I'm going to have to clean those off before I put them in there.